Survivor, Chapter 42. Her name was Fertility Hollis. That's her full name, no kidding, and she's what I really want to share about the next day with my caseworker. It's part of my terms of observation. I have to meet with my caseworker for 1 hour once a week. In exchange, I keep getting housing vouchers. The program makes me eligible for subsidized housing, free government cheese, powdered milk, honey, and butter. I like butter and honey. Free job placement. These are just a few perks you get in the Federal Survivor Retention Program. My doggy little apartment and surplus cheese. My doggy little job with all the veal I can smuggle home on the bus. You get just enough to make ends meet. You don't get anything really choice. You don't get handicapped parking, but once a week for 1 hour you get a caseworker. Every Tuesday, mine drives up to the house where I'm working in her plain-colored government pool car with her professional compassion and case history folders and her mileage log for keeping track of the miles between each client visit. This week she has 24 clients. Last week she had 26. Every Tuesday she comes to listen. Every week I ask her how many survivors are left nationwide. She's in the kitchen scarfing daiquiris and tortilla chips. Her shoes are kicked off and her canvas tote bag full of client files is on the kitchen table between us while she takes out a clipboard and flips through the client weekly status forms to put mine on top. She wipes her fingertip down a column of numbers and says 157 survivors nationwide. She starts filling in the nationwide is on your side. Peyton Manning, his big forehead. She starts filling in the date and checks her watch for the time to write on my weekly check-in form. She turns her clipboard around for me to read and hands it over for my signature at the bottom. This is to prove she was here, that we talked, we shared. She handed me a pen. We opened our hearts. Hear me, heal me, save me, believe me. It's not her fault if after she leaves I cut my throat. While I'm signing the form, she asks, "Did you know the woman down the street who worked in the big gray and tan house?" "No." "Yeah, okay, I know who she's talking about. Big woman, long blonde hair and a braid, a real Brunhild," the caseworker says. "Well, she checked out 2 nights ago. She hung herself in an extension cord." The caseworker looks at her fingernails, first with her fingers curled into her palms, then with her fingers spread wide. She goes back into a big tote bag and gets a bottle of bright red fingernail polish. "Well," she says, "good riddance. I never liked her." I hand the clipboard back and ask, "Anybody else?" "A gardener," she says. She starts shaking the little bottle of bright red with a long white top next to her ear. With her other hand, she flips through the forms to find one. She holds the clipboard up for me to see this week's check-in from client number 134, stamped with a big red word "release," then the date. The stamp is something left over from an inpatient hospital program. In some other program, release used to mean a client was set free. Now it means the client is dead. Nobody wants a special order stamp that says dead. The caseworker told me this a few years ago when the suicide started back up again. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. This is how things get recycled. This guy drank some kind of herbicide, she says. Her hands twist the bottle between them. They twist. They twist until her knuckles look white. She says, "These people do anything to make me look incompetent." She knocks the bottle on the edge of the table and tries to twist it open again. "Here," she says, and hands it across the table to me. "Open this for me, will you?" I open the bottle, no problem, and hand it back. "So how did you know these two?" she says. "Well, no, I didn't know them. I knew who they were, but I don't remember them from before. I didn't know them from growing up, but over the past few years I'd seen them around the neighborhood. They still wore the old regulation church clothes. The man wore the suspenders, the baggy pants, the long-sleeved church with the collar buttoned on even the hottest day of the summer. The woman wore the blah-colored smock of a dress I remember church women had to wear. On her head, she still wore the bonnet. The man always wore the wide-brimmed hat, straw in summer, black felt in winter. Yeah, okay, I saw them around. They were hard to miss. When you saw them," the caseworker says as she's sliding the little paintbrush, red on red, down the length of each nail. Were you upset? Did seeing people from your old church ever make you sad? Did you cry? Seeing people the way they used to dress when you were part of the church, did it make you angry?" The speakerphone rings. "Does it make you remember your parents?" The speakerphone rings. "Does it make you angry when what happened to your family?" The speakerphone rings. "Do you remember what it was like before the suicides?" The speakerphone rings. God, somebody needs to answer the phone. The caseworker says, "Are you going to answer that?" "In a minute. First I have to check my daily planner." I hold the fat book up for her to see the list of everything I'm supposed to get done today. The people I work for try to call and trip me up. God forbid I should be inside to answer the phone if right this minute I'm supposed to be outside cleaning the pool. The speakerphone rings. According to my daily planner book, I'm supposed to be steaming the drapes in the blue guest room, whatever that means. The caseworkers crunch tortilla chips, so wave at her to quiet down. Speakerphone rings and I answer it. The speakerphone yells, "What can you tell us about tonight's banquet?" Relax and say it's a no-brainer. Same with no bones. Some kind of bite-sized carrots. Brace, what's that? It's a burned leaf. I say, you eat it with the little fork farthest to the left. Time's down. You already know, Brazen Dave. I know you know it. You had it last year at a Christmas party. Eat just 3 bites, tell the speakerphone. I promise you'll love it, the speakerphone asks. Could you get the stains out of the fireplace mantle? According to my daily planner book, I'm not supposed to do that task until tomorrow. Oh, the speakerphone says. We forgot. Yeah, right, you forgot, sleazes. You could call me a gentleman's gentleman, but you'd be wrong on both counts. Anything else you should know about? It's Mother's Day. Oh shit, fuck, damn, the speakerphone says. Have you gone ahead and sent something? Are we covered? Of course, I sent each of their mothers beautiful flower arrangement, and the florist will bill their account. What did you say in the card? I said, to my dearest mother, whom I cherish and always remember, a loving son-daughter has never had a mother who loved her more. With my deepest love, then the applicable signature. Then P.S. a dried flower is just as lovely as a fresh one. Sounds good. That should hold them for another year, the speakerphone says. Remember to water all the plants in the sun porch. It's written in the planner book. Then they hang up. They never had to remind me to do anything. They just have to have the last word. No sweat off my back. The caseworker is fanning her fresh red nails back and forth in front of her mouth and blowing them dry. Between long exhales, she asks, your family? She blows her nails. She asks, your own mother? She blows her nails. Do you remember your mother? She blows her nails. Do you think she felt anything? She blows her nails. I mean, when she killed herself. Matthew chapter 24, verse 13. But he that shall endure by the end, the same shall be saved. According to my daily planner, I should be cleaning the air conditioner filter. I should be dusting the green living room. There's brass doorknobs to polish. There's all the old newspapers to recycle. The hour's almost up, and what I never got to talk about was Fertility Hollis, how we met at the mausoleum. We walked around for an hour, and she told me about different 20th century art movements and how they depicted Jesus crucified. In the oldest wing of the mausoleum, the wing called Contentment, Jesus gaunt and romantic with a woman's huge wet eyes and long eyelashes. In the wing built in the 1930s, Jesus is a social realist with huge superhero muscles. In the 40s, in the Serenity wing, Jesus becomes an abstract assembly of planes and cubes. The 50s, Jesus polished fruitwood, a Danish modern skeleton. The 60s, Jesus pegged together out of driftwood. There's no 70s wing, and in the 80s wing, there's no Jesus. Just the same secure polished marble and brass you'd find in a department store. Fertility talked about art, and we wandered through Contentment, Serenity, Peace, Joy, Salvation, Rapture, and Enchantment. She told me her name was Fertility Hollis. I told her to call me Tender Branson. That's as close as I have to a real name. Every week from now on, she's going to visit her brother's crypt. That's where she promised to be next Wednesday. The caseworker asked, it's been 10 years. Why don't you ever want to open up and share any feelings about your dead family? I'm sorry, I tell her, but I really need to get back to work. I tell her our hour is up.